What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. Game 6 NBA Finals is done and dusted. The Warriors get ring number 7, 103-90. It wasn't even that close. Shout out Steph Curry, first Finals MVP, ring number 4, 2 with KD, 2 without KD. So here we are. First full season with Clay back. They get a ring. They were in the play-in last year. Had one of the worst records in the league the year prior to that.
I think the worst record in the league.
But what did Draymond said? Welcome back to the Warriors Invitational. I loved that. Big Nick the Quick with me as always. Let's rip off 30 and get up out of here. Go get some sleep. What'd you think of the game, man? I got to give you your props. We were touch and go early. I went with Boston last minute. I switched my pick to win the series to the Boston Celtics. They did not get it done. Big Nick was telling me early on, right after Curry had that 43 burger in Game 4 in Boston, he was like, "Hey, look, this is over." There's just a different quality, different type of hooper, different type of franchise. Everything we knew going into it, but I refuse to believe. I thought that Boston would just be too tough, have too many options on O. They play the best D in the league, allegedly. And I thought Jason Tatum was farther along than he is, and that's not the case. Big Nick the Quick. What did you think of the game? Shout out Steph, the whole crew. What did you think?
Yes, I mean, before the series, you asked me what I thought. I told you Warriors in an easy 6. I'm not going to go as far as to say that this was an easy 6. There were definitely a lot of tough moments for the squad, but overall ended up winning in 6. Look, you hit it right in the head, man. After that, the 40-plus piece from Steph in Game 4, and Boston had pretty much given up the home field advantage that they had gotten back, and gave it back to Golden State, it was over with, man. It was over with. It was done, right? Once Game 5 hit, once you saw that Tatum had absolutely nothing, he quit in Game 5, absolutely quit tonight in Game 6. The Warriors were just, they smelled the blood in the water, man. There was no way that they were going to lose this game tonight. I told you that the other day when we recorded after the episode of Game 5. I said, this is over. This is all set up for Warriors in 6. Boston had to win that Game 4. They had to go up 3-1. And end this series and give the Warriors no hope. The second they gave them that glimmer of hope, and again, I can keep going back to Game 1 fluky shit or Game 3 Steph Curry foul trouble. Outside of that, where are your Boston Celtics moments? Right? When did they thoroughly dominate them? Yeah, they played well in spurts, but they couldn't close this thing down at all. And all that came to head tonight. Tonight was Tonight was a microcosm of the entire series. Boston looks like the best team for the first 10 minutes of the game. And then after that, it's spurt here, but never really get back ahead. Spurt here, never really get back ahead. And then when it's winning time, look, man, I'm not going to say they folded up because Jaylen Brown was playing ball. Time Lord was playing ball. Al Horford was giving it everything he had. But their best player, their alleged superstar, their guy who texts Kobe, their guy with the Mamba mentality was nowhere to be found. And I know we'll probably get into this a little bit more, but everybody knew it. His teammates knew it. His coach knew it. Steve Kerr knew it. And Jason Tatum knew it too. Did not want to be there. Stood his ass in the corner. 2 points. 2 points in the, I want to say 2 points in the entire second half, correct? And all of it was on an easy-ass dunk that he got when the game was already over.
Yeah, so I believe he had 2 in the second half.
So for all intents and it was a 2 again on an easy dunk when the game was over. So for all intents and purposes, Jason Tatum had a goose egg in the second half of a closeout game of the NBA Finals. Yes, I'll say it. Said it the other day. I'll say it again. Fraud. Don't want to hear his age. Don't care. Not interested. Don't tell me any of that. I don't care how old you are. 0. Non-existent. Stood in the corner like Bruce Bowen.
Yeah, I tweeted out he looked like PJ Tucker.
Yeah, worse.
He didn't want the ball.
Didn't want it.
Wasn't looking for the ball. Didn't get the ball. No one was trying to go his way. I without the numbers in front of me, I think Jason Tatum scored 12 points in the whole series in the fourth. Like maybe 16.
I think you're actually right. I think he came into the series averaging like 2.4 in the 5 games.
Yeah, I think
something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe 11
I think he
points.
scored
So, 13.
like 12, 13, 14 points in the whole entire fourth quarter of the series.
Yep.
So that's not going to get it done. And one of those fours he didn't play because he didn't do anything in the third.
Yeah.
So I think, I want to put this out there really quick too. Everybody talking about Kerr getting four rings as a coach. Don't forget about Luke Walton, G. Don't forget about Luke. You don't want to give Luke. You don't want to give Luke Walton no love.
The Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers sure have.
Gee,
No.
You remember? You don't remember when Luke coached the whole year?
Yeah.
You don't remember that? Kirk came back. His back started feeling a little better, right? The playoffs kicked off.
Yeah, his back is like Urban Meyer's heart.
Steve Kerr back, Urban Meyer heart. It's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Same limb.
Same doctor.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I know. You know what? I shouldn't even do that because Kerr shit was. I know his shit was serious. Urban Meyer shit was 100% cap. But Kerr shit was so serious.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a bunch. It's been a. I even tweeted. I really wanted to see him go out guns blazing at the very least, like we've been talking about. Go 0 for 10. Go 0 for 12.
Ask for the ball.
He was.
He got his shit beat by Wiggins a couple times.
Do you lean that he was scared?
Yeah, I think he was scared. I think
scared of the moment.
Yeah, because it's so there are certain possessions where I was watching him. He was literally he's coming down the floor, and he's going to the corner. Or hanging out in that mid, like in between the corner and
he was removing himself from the offensive
hands down, just kind of like this, like a shooter does. Completely removed himself. The action's over there. He's over here. He's not calling for the ball. He's not Dion Waiters and he's just watching Jaylen Brown take over. And like I get it, Jaylen Brown was on fire, but I watched him. He deferred to Brown. At one point, he had the ball, gave it to Brown, got out the fucking way. Yeah. So he was scared. That shit, look, man, and for a guy, again, we've seen Tatum have games where he goes 1 for 19. Like, we've seen him not be shy about putting the ball up. So to be shy in this moment over and over and over, and there's no way going into this game he didn't know about what was being talked about him. He didn't know what the narrative was. He didn't know what he had to do, right? Everybody's looking at him. Everybody's talking about him. Everybody knows the deal. He can shut out. He can, claim he's not watching any of that shit. I don't even know if he said that or whatever, but the fact of the matter is he knows he played shitty in the fourth quarter. He knows he played shit in the last 2 fourth quarters in games that they lost. He knew it was a closeout game, and he did not show up in the entire second half. And you knew it was trouble. You knew it was trouble as soon as Golden State went on that run. That's when I texted y'all. I said, hey, this is over. This is done.
21-0 run. Biggest run since 1950 in the NBA Finals.
Done.
It just can't happen.
Game was over at that point.
I mean, especially, you know what made it made it worse that they came out so hot to start. Mm-hmm. It's 12, I think it was 12-2.
14-2.
14-2. They get a timeout. Jason Tatum's is standing there taking a little chest pound from I believe it was, I don't know, it doesn't even matter, right? Like they knocks down a 3. It's 14-2, and then it goes 14-2 to like 25-14.
Looks like 25.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. But it made it worse that they came out so strong. The Warriors essentially soaked it up, bounced right back, and that's one thing that was happening over and over in the series is that Boston wasn't as good as the Warriors at soaking up a big shot, a big run during the game, and bouncing back from it. The Warriors did it time and time again, and the Celtics just could never bounce back. And this was a perfect microcosm of that. That was kind of the whole series, that little run in the first half. And even when the game got a little closer in the second half, when Steph and them tucked him in, it was similar.
You never thought that they were going to come back.
No.
Like, even when it got close, that they got down to 8 at one point, I was never like, oh, shit, we got one. Because they just – the way that they were playing, It just no. And the Warriors, I don't think we're worried at all about it either. I mean, again, they came. I think that's why Game 5 was so disappointing because they came out flat, right? But this game, they came out like they were ready. They came out like they understood what was going on. And then I called you and said, I've never seen a team just completely fall flat. Like it's not like a couple bad possessions. They
Yeah.
just stopped scoring. Like they scored that first 12, and then the next 78 were extremely difficult. You know what I mean? Like, and again, you said it before the series, they got so much firepower, all these guys. This is their third straight finals game under 100 points.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about it. They had 37 points at the half.
Well, their big gun is not showing up.
Not
so
gun. Slingshot, not even nothing.
Yeah,
man. Like nothing. Like I don't even think like
I'm
not
really
showing up's not even right.
I'm really looking forward to hearing his presser.
Says what?
I just want to hear what he's going to say. I want to get into his head, and I want to hear what someone else. I hope someone asks, like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on here? You disappeared in the fourth quarter of the second half in multiple games in the NBA Finals. Then you have a closeout game at home, and pregame they were talking about they know how they have to come out, and no, we're not scared of Golden State. We're at home. We know what we got to do. Blah 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 blah." And then they did it for a minute and a half, 2 minutes in the first quarter. And then that was it. So.
Well, and also all while your man's is going off and trying not to. Jaylen Brown played his ass off.
Yeah.
Literally played his ass off.
Jaylen Brown, 12 of 23, 5 of 11 from 3, 34, 7 rebounds. Yeah.
Hooping. Especially the second
turned
half,
it over a bunch, but.
For sure. But
he also.
He had to do everything.
He had to do everything. He was he was handling the rock. Yeah, exactly.
He was like, fuck it. I'm like, that's what you wanted to see from Tatum. That's what you wanted to see from Tatum. Like that's the definition of going down swinging.
For example, Brown had 5 turnovers, but so did Tatum, and Tatum didn't have the rock ever
anywhere near as much as Brown did.
Yeah, nowhere near as much.
Brown was all over the place, man. He's flying around. He again going down swinging, not quitting, asking for the ball, taking over a game like a star is supposed to do. Even when they were out of it, he's the reason they stay in the game. Him, Time Lord, and Horford.
Yeah,
they all.
You want to talk about Draymond?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Incredible performance.
Classic Draymond game.
It was so good.
Classic Draymond game. Was flying all over the place defensively. Offensively was getting them into everything they wanted. Was clearly prioritizing getting the ball to Steph, which not a surprise. But just the energy was there. He was actually making shots tonight.
Confident. He was confident as fuck tonight.
Extra confident.
That's why I didn't get where it went in the middle of the series. That's why it was so perplexing that he didn't look like himself for like large stretches of games and whole games entirely. Game 1, game 3, just not there. And then tonight, all over the place. 12 points, 12 boards, 8 assists, knocked down a couple threes, knocked down a couple jump shots. Was very active on D. So he was major. The role players were so major. And then, listen, Steph picked him up when everybody was down, scored 43 in a massive game 5 in Boston. Steph has a poor game the next game, gets locked up in game 5. Game 4, Steph went crazy. Role players didn't play well. He picked him up. Game 5, Steph plays like shit. The Wiggins, then the role players pick him up. Jordan Poole picks him up. Gary Payton II picks him up. And then tonight it was an everybody. Everybody chipped in. Draymond was Draymond. Clay didn't play very well, but Steph went crazy. Had 34, shot it really, really well, very efficient. 12 of 21, 6 of 11. Then he got 15 from Poole, 6 from Gary Payton the second, and then Wiggins.
He got 6 from Cashman Otto too.
The money man, the starter, NBA Finals clinching game 6 starter.
Signed for $100 million. What a life. Money man. Good deal.
So that it just all came together tonight, and Wiggins is
what a game.
He has found just a perfect situation for himself and his mentality, and everything that's going on with him right now is completely based on being a part of the Warriors franchise and what they got going on and everything else. He looked incredible all series.
And was really bothering. I mean,
Oh,
again,
dude, he
the couple times that Tatum tried to do anything in the fourth quarter, Wiggins was there to be like, yeah, no, it's not happening.
No.
Yeah. No.
Straight jacket.
And hit a massive three.
He played his ass off. He was rebounding, offensive rebounding the entire series. It was insane. What do we think about Steph Curry, 2-time champion? Excuse me, 4-time champion.
Four of them.
Yeah. Excuse me, 4-time champion. Now 1-time MVP, Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, 8-time All NBA. Couple of All-Star game MVPs in there. I don't even know how many All-Star games. Probably what, 10?
8, probably 8 or 9.
Probably 8 or 9, right? We have the only unanimous MVP in NBA history.
Yep, which is crazy.
Steph Curry. Now you know what's going to happen, right? I think a lot of people want to give – a lot of people didn't agree with Iguodala getting the first Finals MVP, right?
Sure.
But it kind of just became like, yeah, Iguodala got it. It is what it is, whatever. I think with Steph getting this Finals MVP, the conversation is going to move to more like, well, it's actually 2 MVPs. He actually has 2 Finals MVPs, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you think we're going to start doing that thing?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Steve Nash got 2 back-to-back MVPs, but, that's really Kobe's. That's really Kobe's MVP, you know what I'm saying? Kobe should have got 2. I think that conversation is going to pick up a ton. Where do you think the legacy, the resume is insanely strong? We already know he's the best 3-point shooter of all time, best shooter ever. He has that label. Now he has 4 titles, a Finals MVP. The legacy is strong. Any thoughts on Steph's legacy going forward? Where what did he do? What do you think about like how he cemented his legacy, going to get 2 rings without KD now?
Sure.
With that, with hey, we got the first one with the core guys, and then now we capped it with the core guys.
Yeah, maybe mentally I'd like overrated Steph. And it's as crazy as it sounds, because like obviously winning another chip adds more to your legacy, but to me his legacy was already cemented. But again, this is the 4th title. It puts you in very rarefied air. He finally gets
4 titles.
He finally gets that Finals MVP and all that. For me, the craziest thing about the Steph run to me is it seems a lot longer than it is. When you really look at this, is an 8-year run. Like, it's an 8-year run. Like, you look at LeBron's career, and it's like this is 22 years. You know what I mean? There's so much stuff, but it feels like 22 years. Steph shit feels like 20 years, but it's actually an 8-year run, right? So, like, when you look at that 8-year run, 6 times in the finals, 4 titles, completely changed the game, was a good player prior to this run, but not what he became, right, when the Warriors really burst onto the scene that first year with Steve Kerr. So to me, like, that's how it stands out for me. It's just like, man, you want to talk about a guy who dominated for a stretch of time. And this is an underrated part of this, and I've always thought about it. And I think if you were to get him in a room and have him be very honest, he'd say it to you too.
Yeah.
He interrupted the LeBron's era. This was the era of LeBron.
It's so funny you said that. I was literally just thinking, like, if these guys didn't show up, LeBron was hitting the I'm getting ready to take over everything. And then these dudes popped up and just got fucked up.
100%.
LeBron's a couple titles for LeBron.
Yeah, sure. 100%. And LeBron's signature, like, this was my era, undoubtedly. I think it'll still go down as the era of LeBron because, again, over 20 plus years.
It's mixed up now, though,
but
for sure. He's sharing it.
When you have this 8-year run where a guy steals a couple titles from you, changes the game, and is still doing it right now when your team's not in the playoffs and all that. And again, I think it really interrupted that LeBron era. Like, and it's crazy. I think if you got LeBron in a room candidly and asked him about it, he'd be like, yeah, this little guy fucked my shit up.
No doubt.
Because even if other people would have won titles, yeah, you got some Spurs titles in there, you got the Mavs titles in there, but it would have been like no one dominated like that. But now it's like, hey, no, there was a dominant team in the middle of your era. So, like, yeah, I think that's a huge part of it too. So, again, I don't know how much longer it'll go. I think if you're being realistic, Klay looked a little rough in the playoffs. Draymond obviously looked rough. So you just wonder, like, hey, do they have another 2-3 years? Probably not. But man, for them, and they probably know that too. But for them to grab that 4th ring tonight, it doesn't matter.
It's massive.
It doesn't matter. They
The
came
West
back.
but the West is not as loaded up as the East now too.
No,
so it's a little easier for them to get back now for sure. But yeah,
Jordan Poole,
they got it when they got there.
Development of guys like Poole, Wiggins, Kuminga will be key to whatever they become going forward. Because you can't afford another playoff run getting nothing from Wiseman. Wiseman was obviously hurt, but getting nothing from Wiseman or Kuminga, because again, that's just another year older. I really look at a guy like Draymond, who I'm like, all right, like this is when this ends, it's probably gonna be pretty abrupt. You know what I mean? Like, and Clay, like, hey, who knows, man? Maybe a summer of just full workout, knowing he's playing the full year, he'll bounce back. But again, he just looked like he didn't have that same lift. And Steph's older too, but he's different.
No question.
Yeah, that's how I look at it, man. This 8 years was crazy. A short run that felt long and interrupted LeBron's dominance. And, you know, what else do you ask for? Yeah. This title was amazing.
It's awesome title. 100%.
This title was amazing.
And it's one of those things that's so easy to say after you look back on it. But like when I switched my pick at the very end to the Celtics, they were so good coming up through the East. And I just respected the East gauntlet so much. I think that also had a bit to do with it. But first year coach, like no one was expecting them to be there either. Just like people weren't expecting the Warriors to be there. There was a big stretch of the year where a lot of people were talking about the Celtics are flat out trash. Before last point on the Celtics.
Speaking of first year coach, though, I will say this: I gave Udoka a lot of credit towards the end of the year and in the playoffs. I did not like how
he had no answer for any. He had no answer for anything.
No adjustments at all in the finals.
None.
Like it really, to me, did a poor job of coaching in the finals.
Yeah, no adjustments whatsoever.
Yeah,
it was
a lot of questionable decisions.
The way
dropped on Steph for as long as they did.
Yeah,
it's just
The way they lost those 3 straight it was tough.
For sure.
Tough. And to come into the game, this also goes to my point of the Boston Celtics would really use a point guard. Going into the game, what would you say what narrative would you say the Celtics heard the most from the media, the fans, and everybody else going into the game?
Tatum.
That's up there.
They need to play with energy. They need to play hard. They need
Don't turn the ball
over. Yeah, not turn the ball over. Yeah.
I mean, that's every sentence anyone ever said. Well, the Celtics would be all right if they just wouldn't turn the ball over. They can't turn the ball over. Don't turn the ball over. If they turn the ball over more than 20 times, they have absolutely no way, shape, or form they can win the game. There is, of course, 20 is a lot, right? Like, if you turn the ball over 14, 15 times, it's tough to win.
Yeah. They had 22. Yeah, go ahead.
They come into the game at home and turn the ball over 23 times.
Yeah.
When as a squad, it's absolutely impossible for you to do that. Yeah, think about this, Nick. Just looking at the 103-90 score. They scored 14 points in the first 2 minutes?
Yeah.
So the rest of the game, they put up 76 points.
Yeah.
In the last probably 45 minutes of the game.
That's why I said those last 76 were hard.
Yeah, it's just a yeah. And I don't even want to talk about the Celtics anymore because they lost. It was a good year for them. They came back. But
real quick on your turnover point, though, of those 22, 18 of them were committed by starters.
Yeah.
So it's not like you had a bunch of bench guys coming in and spraying the ball all over the place. The guys who really knew, like, hey, we can't do this, came out and were just, It was an awful performance by the Boston
just really need they're short another guy. I brought up a bunch of guys that we were talking about back and forth on the phone. Just another point guard type of guy that could just slow stuff down and actually get them in a set, because there's just no way I think a veteran point would let Tatum disappear like that as well. Like, yo, come get the fucking ball.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that. Because I think the flip side of that is if Jason Tatum had showed up in 2 of these last 3 fourth quarters.
I also said that too.
This team wins the championship.
I talked to Eder and I was like, well, it's also This point guard conversation that we're having. And if those don't know what we're talking about, I've been saying the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 days that the Celtics could really use a point guard that's not Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's not a point guard. He was moved into the point guard position, the role, but he's not a true point guard. They could really use a point guard. And that's what I've been saying. I still believe that wholeheartedly. They could really use a guy that could come in and run the show because there's so many stretches of games where the Celtics look completely out of whack, don't know what to do, and end up getting a horrific shot towards the end of the shot clock. Multiple stretches of games in this finals that happened. And I also said, well, if Tatum was playing more aggressively and more like his guy Kobe, who he emulates or wants to be,
I got you.
It's yo, give me the ball on the post, and I'm going to hit a couple just turnaround jumpers.
Or make a play.
We don't need a point guard. I don't need a set to be run. Just dump me the ball over here on the wing, and I'm going to go to work. So I'm interested to see how he comes back over the offseason. I'm looking forward to when we hop off this pod, hearing the presser as well. But
what's more important then? And this will be the ultimate question then. What's more important, them getting a point guard or Jason Tatum playing like Jason Tatum is supposed to play? Because Jason Tatum's playing like Jason Tatum's supposed to play, the point guard thing isn't
a lot of stuff gets masked up.
It's not a conversation.
A lot of stuff gets covered up.
Exactly. So it starts and ends with Tatum. I understand it's easy, like you just said, to look at what they don't have when what they do have isn't performing, but they do have something. They do have Jason Tatum. If he's doing his thing, if he shows up at all in 2 of the last 3/4 quarters, they win the fucking championship.
Yeah.
2 out of the 3/4 quarters. 2 quarters is all we needed from you.
I tweeted, I said Tatum's going to show up to the presser in a sling. Remember when LeBron showed up in the hand cast?
So I can't even carry Deuce. Oh.
my shoulder shot, dog. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I shout out the Warriors. Who else got a ring over there? We got Money Man Otto. Andre Iguodala gets another ring. He came into that mentor role, got back, found his way back to Golden State.
Shout out Bielitsa gets a ring.
Bielitsa, shout out Bielitsa gets a ring.
Juan Toscano Anderson had the Mexican flag draped over his shoulder. Shout out Toscano Anderson. JTA gets a ring.
GP2.
Damian Lee, Steph Curry's brother-in-law, greatest gig on earth.
Yeah.
Safest dude since Thanasis.
Gary Payton's son gets a ring just like GP.
And earned it.
Yeah, he's not a full passenger. He's in coach though.
Yeah, but those minutes are good.
But good minutes.
No, it's good. No, he loaded the bags.
Yeah.
But the bags need to be loaded.
You can't leave without the bag.
Can't leave without the bag. Gary, I got it, Steph. You go on the plane.
Can't leave without the bag.
You go on the plane. I'm loading these bags for you real quick. All right.
No doubt.
Yeah, bags need to be loaded. He escorted Otto Porter to his first class seat. You know?
Yes. So it's a couple of rings in the Payton household. One for Pops, one for his son. So it's a good run, man. Good season. I think Clay can. That's a big peg for Clay. Like, yo, when I left, they didn't win anything.
Draymond said it.
Like when I was gone and injured, the Warriors were shit and in shambles. They made the play-in and lost. I show up and I get a full season. We're back winning titles. I think that's something that I'm going to acknowledge and something that he can kind of. I don't know if he would ever say that out loud and put it that bluntly, but that's what it comes down to. He was there. They won titles. KD left, obviously, but Clay got hurt. They were terrible. He came back. They're back to winning titles.
And Steph got hurt too, but yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And look, man, the whole thing is crazy. That's why I said this whole story is wild. The fact that they came back and won this title this year, the first year that they're all back together, the fact that they were able to do it by getting contributions, massive contributions from a guy like Wiggins, who most, if not all of the NBA community had written off, including myself, for a guy who played uninspired basketball. They got him to play inspired basketball when it mattered. And if we're being honest, the last 3 games, he was massive for them after the rebounding issues that they had in Game 3.
Rank the top 5 players of the series. Both
Man.
sides. Just like top 5, it could be from either team.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Was Andrew Wiggins the second best player in this series? Yeah, probably.
Right? Like
Steph
he
Curry,
has to be, right?
Yeah, Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins,
Jaylen
Brown, Horford. Horford was fucking good this series. I'm not gonna lie. Time Lord was really fucking good.
Time Lord was really good. Horford was whatever, 2 through 5. He was whatever, very, very mediocre.
Yeah, but then it really gets dicey after that. It's hard to say.
You can't even put Tatum at 4.
No, he was awful. No, bye. Fuck no. Fuck no. Are you kidding me? The stench.
The 5th. He's lower than 5.
No, the stench of Game 5 and Game 6 will not allow me to put him on this list. We just said if he had done anything in those games, they're NBA champions.
Draymond was responsible had a huge role in 2 wins.
Kevin Looney had a couple good games in there.
You only need 4. So
yeah, Kevin Looney. He
was a massive, massive contributor in 2 of the 4. So just so we're clear, Steph, Wiggins, Jaylen, Horford. That's what you're going with?
I'll probably go Time Lord over Horford. I thought Time Lord was incredible tonight. Time Lord was incredible during this series.
What about Clay? Where's Clay at? Horford's not in front of Clay.
No, not Horford. Not Horford.
Tatum.
We'll throw Horford. Horford won game 1.
Yeah, Tim and Derek White.
Horford won more games for them than fucking Jason Tatum did.
He's not in front of Draymond.
No,
talk to me
he's
about.
He's in front of Tatum. I don't even know if Tatum's in the top 5 in the Celtics in this series.
Marcus Smart is probably up there too.
I think Peyton Pritchard had a better series than fucking Nick Stauskas had a better series than Tatum.
Shout out Nick Stauskas, man. He got a ring.
When he almost hit it,
he got an Eastern Conference Finals ring.
Do you understand if he would have hit that garbage time 3, he would have had more second half points than Jason Tatum in this game?
Yeah, Luke Cornett had like 4 points in the 4th.
Former Bulls all over the place.
Shout out Luke Cornett, my guy. Shout out Max Weepking, my guy. Maxie reps Luke Cornett out of tandem.
Folks
man.
Gonna stay in the league forever. 7-2. Doesn't matter if you can play or not.
It was a good series. Anything else before we get out of here, man? I want to go watch these pressers.
9 rings for Steve Kerr. Man.
9 rings for Steve Kerr. Shout out Luke Walton as well.
It's gonna be a fun offseason, I'll say that. I can't wait. I'm excited for some of the offseason stuff to start.
Yeah, give us 3 or not 3.
Yeah, I'll give you some
season.
Donovan Mitchell.
Storylines. Okay.
Donovan Mitchell.
So just the Jazz.
Donovan Mitchell, Damian Lillard, Zion Williamson.
What David Griffin said?
Yeah, he's a max player.
It's no question. The next question.
Zion went straight to Duncan after that. Like, all right, we're good. Keep the show rolling.
Donovan, I'm actually completely sick and tired of the Dame Lillard story.
I just want to know if anything happens.
Yeah, like
I kind of just want to know what happens, but I also think that we can get.
I'm just like I don't think he's not leaving. He loves how much sway he has over there. He's the man over there. I get it. And he's loyal and all that, and I get it. But he took the whole year off, flat out. I know he was injured, but he could have came back at some point and didn't. And we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, well, that's bad.
I would love for him to go to Miami, boy. Woo-wee.
Somewhere where but he has to play D, and he doesn't like that.
He don't have to play too much D down there, but he'll have to play a little bit. But
a little Hero. You send Tyler Hero to Utah. He can't put Tyler Hero in Utah.
Yeah, did you say who was it? I think it was Bomani Jones. Was like, listen, if there's anybody in the league that cannot play and live in Salt Lake City, it's Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero. He can't do it.
His whole aura. He just can't. He couldn't.
He might retire.
It's against every fiber in his body to go live and play
anywhere
basketball
but
in
here.
Salt Lake.
Anywhere but here. I can't do it. I'm not
play in the
do
Euro League.
Fuck this.
I'll go play in Paris.
Fuck this. I'll go play anywhere. Guangdong Tigers. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to see. I'm looking
How
forward
about
to the
you?
Bulls,
What are you looking
man.
forward to? The
I'm looking
Bulls,
forward to
yeah.
the Bulls to see how that shakes and what they do, what they add. I am
Kobe
interested to see
Kobe
what
White
happens
trade
with.
rumors heating up. All that yesterday. Someone said the Bulls might be trying to shop Kobe White. What could you honestly get for Kobe White? Who in the league is giving you anything of value for Kobe White?
Yeah, no, not many. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. So stay tuned. NBA is over. I'm out of here. Well, I'm off. I'm actually I'm out of town all of July, so we'll get a couple more
hold on.
pods in and we'll be out
It's
until NFL.
I just want to remind the people it's 11:52 Thursday, June 16th, and Lamar Jackson still doesn't have a deal.
She doesn't have a deal, and I think he's at
any,
the barracks right now.
Yeah,
he's sleeping at the OTAs.
Never. What?
So yeah,
get your deal.
Yeah. All right, man. For Big Nick the Quick, I'm your host, Sean Little. Warriors ring number 7, number 4 for Steph, Clay, and Draymond. No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. You know what to do, man. We're out here. Peace.